Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, be greatly appreciated. I felt really good today on the squat. I kind of went slightly off my plan, decided to go for a decent training max that I knew as soon as I got under this 415 I'd hit, because this felt so light going deep and low bar. If you guys notice, I switched kind of over to full low bar, which is going to make the world record not too hard to get, because honestly I'm still regaining a lot of strength now after the hardest part of the cut. I'm still trimming down, but there's some muscle memory there. Came in and hit 505 pretty easy. Notice the depth on these. I'm sinking everything. This will break my own Texas squat record by 20 pounds. Keep in mind I have a meet coming up this summer, then I have Worlds in October. World record is only 534. So I kind of laughed. I only had one negative comment so far. Someone saying, oh, that's so weak. And I'm sitting here thinking it's 29 pounds under the current world record for my class. In the meets that I do, IPL, which is the USPA's international body, for my class, right? It's 29 pounds under. I left some in the tank. I wasn't hyped up. No knee sleeves. We're coming up on that real quick. So for the supplemental work, I did decide I want to do for my bigger main movements more fives, high sets of fives, kind of like you saw me doing with the deadlifts. I may do 10 sets of 5 on the benching. And then smaller exercises will do more reps. So how am I going to address that on squats? I'm going to go just drag a sled. While this is rendering, I'm going to go do some sled drags. Right, because this workout didn't take that long. I probably undershot the weight a little bit for the 5 rep sets on this. I was going to do 10, but I kept going. I did 12 sets of 5 with this. Now, keeping in mind this is a fair amount of volume, but it's sub-maximal 5s. I'm going to sled drag afterwards. Sled drag doesn't have an eccentric component. And here's the thing. This is not within the glycolytic energy system because I'm doing all these 5s because I am doing really low carb still. I think doing a lot of my bigger movements like that'll be good. I can do tricep extensions, curls, glute ham raises, all that stuff with 10s and things. My chin-ups are going to be higher rep, but I don't really care about glycogen or anything else in my chin-ups, to be honest. And honestly, that's a whole different topic of glycogen use and replenishment. But I am trying to put a little bit of effort right now into the ATP creatine phosphate system. I want to get a little more mechanical tension, right? I want to get some of that, but then I can still get the glycolytic and everything with the sled drags. But that's not going to be a lot of it. I'll maybe do them today. And I'm really realizing that from a recovery perspective, if I'm going to do sled drags, I need to do them after squatting or deadlifting. Mainly because then I'm not doing them days between. I'm not trying to do a sled drag and then deadlift or squat the next day. Right? This is where we can run into problems, especially when you're on lower calories like I am. And I'm pushing more and more towards more protein, even though I'm doing kind of a keto. I'm doing more protein and less fat right now, meaning I'm doing about 400 grams of protein a day at the moment. It's kind of around 350 to 400 is what I've pushed up to. So again, we'll get hopefully some thermic effect nutrient partitioning. But I am noticing again the recovery is good because doing that, look how well that squat went. That 505 was not 100%. Okay, it wasn't 100%. It was heavy. It was at least 95%, but it wasn't 100. It was still a training max. Okay. Also, I notice I feel real good after doing these 5s on these. And that's the other thing. This is the one thing I'm going to do different. Normally, I'm big on, hey, we can use our classic lifts. I do want to keep my shoulders healthy. There is that shoulder health to think about. There is the shoulder health to think about. And quite frankly, all my core and back and everything gets worked off deadlifts and chins and everything else. I don't think I need the practice with the volume on the back squat. My technique is good. I'm proficient. As long as my heavy sets look good like that, that's the practice I need. Hit those heavy singles and then just build the muscle. Unlike some of the other movements, I feel like, higher volume deadlifting, I get a lot out of it. Benching, we could argue about because of the pec development if I do all the wide grip and then I hammer triceps with volume. All right. So the squat's a little bit different for me. But keep in mind, I used to do really, really high volumes of squatting. You guys remember back in the UK when I first got my squat to 500 again? You guys remember me doing like 10 sets of 3, sometimes more than once a week. So, I've done my share of that. And I've noticed it for me, squatting is natural. I don't have technique to work on a lot. And I feel like I get that off of just the heavy singles. Like the technique is there. That set that we just saw, my technique is there. How do we even improve on it? Just by building up the weak links. I just need more adductor. So the thing you guys will notice as I got further into these, I was starting with the toes on the edge of the platform. Where people say, well, how wide is the platform? You can go look it up. It's bales of steel. It's a pretty wide platform. But I started doing, as I went further, taking my toes off the edge to get the widest stance possible so that we continue to hammer those adductors in the glute super hard, trying to go as deep as I can go, bringing up the glutes and adductors. And here's why. We know that even on an Olympic squat, they get the most hypertrophy. Quads still get hit. They're a primary mover. As we go wider and wider, the adductors become more important. That wide stance is the best power position, the most potential, even for muscle mass. We're getting more muscles involved even doing that on the belt squat. And if I practice that, I'm going to have that power out of the bottom. I also am going to have the sleeves. And keep in mind, I'm running SBD sleeves and I'm running them down size 1. They're tight. Okay, I get pounds out of those sleeves. I bet I get at least 20 pounds out of them. So as long as I get this practice in the deep position, this is the only thing that can limit my squat at this point, is that power out of the bottom, being able to hit depth and comp. This lets me practice getting the knees out and the hip movement and the hip drive and everything that I need while being easy on recovery. So I can do a lot of volume on this, like again, 12 sets of 5. I wouldn't be able to recover from that on the back squat the same, even at comparable RPEs. And then I'm going to sled drag afterwards. That will help bring up any other quad weakness. It'll bring up the work capacity of the quads, but it's fairly easy on recovery due to the lack of eccentrics. And this covers my leg day. Then I just care about posterior chain for the deadlift day, and then we hammer upper body super hard Wednesday. You guys will notice some stuff I'm going to be adjusting with that. You saw the chins this morning. We'll discuss that more later. I feel like I need the bicep. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and some barbell curls on my bench day. But I'm just going to do chins every day now, almost, like you guys saw me do. I feel like I'm weaker on chins, but I did go all the way down. That will be noticed. That was my full range of motion. So anyone who calls that a partial, no, those were mostly dead hang. That is my dead hang. That's as far as my joints go. So that makes it a little bit harder. That's why I only got 15, but I'm going to work on that. And then we did one set of hanging leg raises to finish off today. Just one set, that's all I need, because again, abs works pretty hard with all the chins and other stuff. One good quality set. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time, and I'm going to go knock out some sled drags.